All right, this time I'm actually starting on time that I set it for. They got the timer up on the board. Draft resumes in 38 seconds on my TV. So, what are you guys thinking after you had the time to digest what has happened so far? What have you guys been thinking so far? Got Odonis. I'm not sure if he's still in the chat or not. Things to remember: just because they're in the late round, don't mean they can't become a future superstar. That is absolutely true. I think at least one of these picks, out of all of these fourth and fifth round picks we have, at least, at least, one or two of those fourth and fifth round picks have to be good players. Like we at least got to have at least a future starter out of these five picks in the fourth and fifth round. Just way too many at bats to not have a starter. So I'm thinking this stream will go about an hour. I think that'll be enough time to cover both of our picks. We picked seventh and ninth, I think. That's what Max put in the chat. Let's see. I thought we picked sometime in the teens, but we might pick seventh and ninth. Let's see here. Yeah, we picked seventh and ninth. Okay, so yeah, we'll go through the seventh and ninth pick. Like I said, I planned on going about an hour. We should probably cover the seventh and ninth pick at that point, and if not, then we should definitely cover the seventh and ninth pick. After that, we'll have a little bit more time, and at that point, we'll just be able to go ahead and talk about the two picks. For the fifth through seventh round, I'll probably be gone, but I will have content up on those picks, and we'll take it from there. All of yesterday was reaches considering what was on the board. I do think the DeWandale Robinson pick was a little bit of a reach. Not sure. I still haven't gotten to do that much work on the Izudu pick. So the jury's kind of still out for that one. Other than that, I think they from what I have seen with the Izudu and from what I know about Wandale, I think they're both good players. Cordell Flott to me is a starting slot corner, and that's fine to take in the third round. But I agree. I think Wandale probably would have been there in the third. But if they have convention, I mean, not convention. If they had conviction, I guess go ahead and take him. That dude's gonna be a playmaker. Yeah, I think Wandale would have been he would have been a second rounder, or he was a second rounder, I think. But he would have been a first rounder, or a late first rounder, or a borderline guy if he would have measured in at what Kentucky measured him in, which was at 5'11", 185. He ended up coming in at 5'8", 170 something. So a little bit of a difference. So anyway, Tampa Bay's on the clock. I'm pretty sure the timers are much faster. I set an hour to do this. I better get through to the Giants both picks in an hour. I should have about 20 to 30 more minutes after the Giants make their two picks in the fourth round. But overall, I think we've had a solid draft with a home run at the top. I mean, I feel like the two players that we got in the first round, to me, that's enough to make up for an entire draft class. Because if you told me that I was guaranteed Thibodeau and Evan Neal, I would literally trade my entire draft just to get those two players. I really would. Yeah, really repetitive skill set, but it seems like they have a plan. If they have a plan for how to use both of those players, interchangeably, then I'll be excited. Now, if they just throw them out there and it's just like square peg round hole, and they're not really gaining the benefit from having two people who can do that, then at that point it's not a good pick. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if you could give me that first round months ago and tell me that, I would just trade all the rest of my picks so I could have that first round. I don't know why the Bucks are on the clock for this long. I actually have no idea why. Roger Goodell is talking. Can we get it started, please? Yeah, I think for the future it'll be Kadarius Toney outside. At least for the near future, after Shep probably ends up leaving, it'll be Kadarius Toney outside, Wandale in the slot, and then you'll probably have Kenny Galladay on the outside. But also, all three of those guys are going to play all types of different positions. All three of those guys, Kadarius Toney will play in the slot. Kenny Galladay, if he stays after his contract, he's going to be in the slot some. And you really want big receivers in the slot because they can shield off these smaller players and make a lot of contested catches. Yeah, Perrion Winfrey's still there. Amari Barno. That's a guy that's there. Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin is another guy that has a similar skill set that I believe was comparable. But, I mean, whatever. I think Wandale's a little bit better. Tariq Woolen is still there. Darian Kennard. To me, that dude's a guard I would take in the 4th round, but we're probably all set at guard at this point. And he's got some tackle experience. Brandon Smith is still there from Penn State. I would take Brandon Smith. I really like Brandon Smith coming out of Penn State. So he's a guy I would lean towards. Damone Clark's still on the board, but he's probably not going to play because of the spinal stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking right now, listen, we probably go Brandon Smith. But knowing what the Giants do and what most teams in the NFL do, to be honest with you, we'll probably take a linebacker that we feel like should have gone in the 7th round. But we'll all figure it out, when we get there. Also, the tight ends are there. Let's see. I think Jeremy Ruckert, is he still on the board? Because I didn't watch the rest of that draft yesterday. Let's see if Ruckert is still there. He's probably gone at this point. Yeah, he went to the Jets. So Jeremy Ruckert went to the Jets. Cade Otton's on the board. I'm not a big fan of Cade Otton. Let's see, 6'5", 247. I guess I could deal with having Cade Otton, but I'm not necessarily in love with the fact of drafting that dude. Charlie Kolar is somebody I like. Isaiah Likely, of course, is a player I like. Jake Ferguson. I would definitely take Jake Ferguson, and I would definitely take Jalen Weidermeyer. Those are probably my two tight ends that I'm interested in. Weidermeyer and Ferguson. And then Likely as probably a 3rd place kind of guy. Isaiah Likely is basically a big receiver. He's just basically a big receiver. Like 6'4", 245. He plays like a receiver. So I wouldn't be mad with those 3 tight ends. If we can get 2 out of those 3, I'll be ecstatic. If not, I mean, what can I do? What am I going to do to change it? Linebacker, like I said, we got Brandon Smith on the board. We got I don't like any of these guys. I heard some people talking about JoJo Doman. Right now, I'm probably leaning towards Brandon Smith. And I didn't even know he was still on the board because they have him ranked so lowly on NFL.com. I wasn't even expecting him to still be on the board. Yeah, that'd be possible. Sadly, Chenal went off the board. I really would have liked to get Chenal in the third round, but it wasn't in the cards. We didn't get him. Yeah. I wanted anybody that's been watching this channel knows that I wanted Greg Dulcich, and he went one pick before us, and I believe wholeheartedly that we would have taken him. So maybe it's good that he went one pick before us, because if we would have passed on Greg Dulcich right there and ended up getting even though I'm an LSU fan, I would have been heated if we would have passed on Greg Dulcich for Flott. I would have been very heated. The Buccaneers pick is in, and it's like, why is it taking so long? This is the fourth round. You got 3 rounds to get through, fourth, fifth, sixth. You got 4 rounds to get through with the comp picks. So they shouldn't be taking this long to get these picks in. Cade Otton goes off the board right at the top of the 4th round. So that was a guy I wasn't that interested in. So hopefully we have, 2 of the 3. I think we'll have a couple of those tight ends there that I described when we get to our pick. It's just all about if they want to pick them, because I think one of those guys will probably be there in the 5th round. Maybe Weidermeyer might be there in the 5th. Jake Ferguson could be there in the 5th too. Seven and nine. Again, I set aside an hour because it shouldn't take that long to get through 9 picks. So if we get to an hour and we haven't gotten there, like, that's going to be insane. You said you don't see us taking a running back, tight end, or linebacker here. Who do you see us taking here? Because I think that's the only positions we would draft at this point, at this high. Who would you see us taking? You think we're going defensive tackle? Oh, you said you don't see us not taking one. Oh, okay. I read it wrong. Yeah. I feel like we have to go running back, tight end, or linebacker. I just feel like it makes way too much sense. You always can make an argument for taking a cornerback, no matter what your situation is, no matter when it is, because cornerback is such a valuable position because they get hurt so much. But I can't see them doubling up on cornerback. They might see Flott as a safety, but I can't see them taking a safety here either. I just feel like the value meets the need at linebacker with Brandon Smith if he stays there. The value meets the need at tight end with probably one of these tight ends here. And the value meets the need at running back. So Texans pick is in. Let's get this moving, people. I mean, this is the round. These are the rounds where literally picks should be flying off of the board, like flying, like back to back to back. All right, selection is in for the Texans. And the Texans have selected. They still have selection on the board. They haven't said who they picked yet. What's going on? It's just sitting. They just have the selection there, but they haven't said who they picked. Dameon Pierce. Okay. Dameon Pierce he's a decent player for Florida that I thought the Giants could possibly target. Who do I want for the Giants? Right now, my top players that I want for the Giants: Brandon Smith, Kolar is kind of in the discussion. I forgot Charlie Kolar was here. I would say Jake Ferguson, but I feel like he's a 5th rounder. Jalen Weidermeyer, the same thing. Isaiah Likely, I guess you can kind of consider taking him here because he's such a receiver. He's such a dynamic receiver. But ESPN has Amari Barno as their second best guy on the board right now. Be honest with you, I haven't seen a bunch of his tape, but I'll pull up his scouting report to see what he's looking like here. Amari Barno. I don't even see him on. Is he an edge? He might be an edge. Yeah, he's an edge. Yeah, we don't need that dude. He's an edge. So, yeah, it has to just be some form of a running back, tight end, or linebacker. As far as running back goes, let's see who's still on the board. We got Zamir White on the board. We got Kevin Harris is a guy that I think is decent. Kyron Williams is a guy that I like. Snoop Connor is a guy that I like. Hassan Haskins, I think, might go next round, but I like him. That's pretty much what it was there at running back that I still like. They took some of those guys I thought might be here at the beginning of the 4th round. James Cook went higher than I thought he would go. I thought he would go in the 3rd round. Davis Price, Tyrion Davis Price from LSU went in the 3rd round. I missed that. So, yeah. Brown's pick is in. You think we need a tight end or linebacker more? So I feel like it's equal need. At the same time, we have a solid tight end from Washington, or maybe below solid, but I think he's a typical. He's a starting level tight end in the NFL. We have with I forgot his name, Ricky Seals-Jones, not Ricky Seals-Jones. Is it Ricky Seals-Jones? Yeah, we got Ricky Seals-Jones. Okay. Yeah, we got Ricky Seals-Jones. I think he can start as a tight end, but we would still need depth even if he is our starter. So, I mean, we could always do that through undrafted guys, another free agent. And with Blake Martinez coming back, he does play on 3rd down, but you kind of want some more. You kind of want a more like coverage kind of linebacker. But at the same time, Tay Crowder is not horrible in coverage. So, I don't know. Tay Crowder isn't the best, but you can get by with him. But I still see it as just like positions of need. So I think it's about equal. Definitely think it's about equal. They're showing some Cade Otton tape right there. I think a couple of these tight ends are overrated as far as the blocking goes. Like, I don't really see anything to write home about as far as his blocking goes. And he's not the most super athletic tight end. All right. Flott is a steal. Yeah. I think, like I said, that dude's a starter. He's going to start at corner for us. If he won't start at corner, he's going to start at safety for us. So he's an impact guy. He's going to move around a lot. He's going to play in the slot. He's going to play safety. Probably might play a little bit of nickel backer, even though he's really, really like he's not that heavy, but he'll play all over the field. I think our offense might be top 10. That depends on Daniel Jones. That's what that depends on. Seahawks need a guard, center, defensive end, cornerback. Let's see. Perrion Winfrey, I don't know where he went. But these picks are still going by really slow. Like, this is abnormally slow. Like, worse than any other year. Dominique Robinson as an edge. Yeah, I wonder who the Seahawks just picked because they're taking forever to announce it. Am I optimistic on this season? Not really. I think we got a lot of talented players, but I don't think we're going to do much this year. Mostly because I just don't know what Daniel Jones is going to do. I think we got a lot of young talent. If we listen, best case scenario, we everything comes together and we make the playoffs. But I think the most realistic, positive scenario that can happen from this is the Giants going like what? I guess there's 17 games now, so 8-9 or 9-8, and barely making into the playoffs or barely missing the playoffs. And then next year after that being the year that they compete. It's just really all on Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is the player that a lot of people thought he could be, then we should make the playoffs with this roster because he's got the 2 bookend tackles. The whole offensive line has been revamped. He's got 3 receivers who have proven that they can be effective in this league. Kadarius Toney, not so much, but he looks like he can be a star. And you added Wan'Dale Robinson to go with the fact that you improved the offensive line. And the next couple of these picks, he's probably going to get himself a nice security blanket tight end or a dynamic look kind of tight end. So he's going to have pretty much everything that you want. Also, Kayvon Thibodeau this year, I think, is going to make an impact. He might not have a bunch of sacks or anything, but I think he'll make an impact. So we'll see. I think Azeez Ojulari will get better. The defense should be better as far as rushing the passer because Leo is not going to get, triple teamed anymore. So the team looks like it's a really good team. It looks like they could, put together some stuff, but I will not believe that the Giants are going to be a good team until I see it because I've been getting tricked over and over again for a long time, and I won't get my hopes up. Yeah, I like Cordell Flat a lot better than Kobe Bryant. When I watch his tape, when I was watching him and Sauce Gardner out there playing, Kobe Bryant was getting like diced up. And not the Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. Like, I guess he probably got named after Kobe Bryant. I don't know. But either way, it's just like he was not doing well in his coverage. So hopefully he can turn that around. I think the Seahawks drafted another corner already. Hey, I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. Hope you're right. I would definitely be happy if we could be competitive, but it remains to be seen. Like I said, I got my hopes up last year for the last time. I won't fall for it again. New regime, people just like when people were posting those videos of yeah, I would definitely want to take Matt Right. I wouldn't be mad if we took him at one of our picks in this round because I think he might go this round. Daniel Faale. The Ravens are having a solid draft, man. The Ravens are having a solid draft. With what Sean did, or with not Sean, I hear I go doing that. With what Shane did in free agency and the draft, there is no way the Giants O line should rank in the bottom half this season. Yeah, we really revamped. Listen, I went into this offseason saying we might need to replace 4 positions. And that's exactly what we did. Like on paper, we replaced 4 positions with better players. We got Izudu in this round, who we think is going to be a starting left guard, and we hope is an upgrade. We got Neal, who we know. Listen, if Neal isn't the player that we think he is, we know he's better than Matt Parrott and Nate Solder. So you added those 2 guys, and you added Glowinski and Feliciano. That's 4 new starters that you add to an offensive line with Andrew Thomas, who already looked like a bookend left tackle, looked like a 10-year starting left tackle, like all pro level kind of player when he was playing last year. So all 5 of those guys look like they're better players, look like they're at least average league players with a couple who you think are going to be stars. I think Solder's gone. I'm pretty sure Solder is already gone. Like I'm like really sure Solder's already gone. Feliciano was going to play center though. Left guard is Azudu. Center is Feliciano, and they feel good about him. So I don't know. Being around 15 and having the weapons that we have is no excuses for Daniel Jones. Did the Giants just trade up? I think the Giants just traded up. Oh, we didn't trade up. It's actually been flying by. All right, let's see. All right, so I'll hit record. So this 4th round has been going by a lot faster than in years past. I mean, in the days past, to be honest with you. And I thought we traded up how fast we got to the 7th pick in this 4th round. The Jets just took Max Mitchell, offensive tackle out of Louisiana. The Giants are on the clock. And we're looking at a couple of guys. I'm thinking it'll be running back, tight end, or linebacker. Brandon Smith is a guy I like. I also would not be mad if we took Matt Ariza. I would not be mad if we took Matt Ariza, the punter, because I think he's a generational punter. And I mean, for what it's worth, I feel like that dude is going to be a game changer. And it looks like our pick is probably in, but they're spending time showing past picks from the 1st round because they love to waste time. Giants on the clock. Giants pick is in. Haven't seen the pick yet. So we'll find out probably in the next 20 to 30 seconds. The New York Giants selection is, hopefully it's Brandon Smith. Hopefully it's the guy we can do something with. Linebacker, tight end, running back, Matt Ariza. One of those 4, and I'm fine. Daniel Bellinger. Okay, I can deal with that. I can deal with Bellinger. That's our first tight end we drafted. I haven't done as much work on Bellinger as the other tight ends, but at this point, Daniel Bellinger is a tight end, and we'll see what we can do with him. I got to take a look at his tape, and I'm looking at my chat, and they're saying a 7th round tight end in the 4th. Listen, I liked Isaiah Likely. I liked a couple of these players at tight end, but Daniel Bellinger, to be honest, wasn't on my list of players that I would take here. But I'll take a look at him, just as I said with the Azudu pick, to see if he has some of those tools, see if he can be a guy that can help us. And right now the Commanders are on, and I might as well stay on this clock because these picks are going by so quick that I might as well stay on. But the Commanders pick is in. We just took Bellinger with our pick. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and look up Bellinger's stats. Not his on-the-field stats, but his height and weight stats and a little bit of his profile. 6'4". That is completely not what I was looking for. Not Cody Bellinger, Daniel Bellinger. Anyway, I'm going to pull up some of his height and weight and some of the strengths that he's listed on as far as NFL.com goes. Of course, I'm going to take these stuff loosely because we got to look at the tape before we talk about if someone's bad or not. If I haven't looked at their tape, I'm not going to just say whatever I want. All right. So San Diego State, 6'5", 253, 32-inch arms. Kind of short arms for a 6'5" guy. 4'6", 340-yard dash. Tight end with the NFL build, adequate athletic ability, but it has to keep the motor running hot in order to maximize his potential as a run blocker. So got to get a little bit better at the point of attack, they're saying. Can make contested catches. That sounds cool. Fairly savvy with working against the zone. All I want is a solid tight end. Listen, you can take any tight end, put him in a good system. that can catch, that can especially go up and get passes. You can take pretty much any tight end and put him in a good system, and he'll thrive. So we'll see what his plan is, what Dable's plan is for him, and we'll see how that works out. But from what I see, it looks like more of a receiving tight end than a blocking tight end. Their strengths, well proportioned, muscular build, patient when blocking and poised, strong hands to sustain his work. So it doesn't like he's horrible at blocking. Agile feet as a route runner. Love to see that as a tight end, especially at 250. Clean getting in and out of his route breaks, quick to catch and run. So good to transition to running after catching, and knows how to make contested catches. So I don't really see any kind of catching as his weaknesses. They say he's not that elusive. Sometimes he doesn't get up the seam as fast as they would like to see. But those are things you can work with at tight end. We still may take another tight end in this draft because, again, we still have to fill up the depth chart. So we'll find out who's who and what's what as we continue to get through this draft. But I really like Weidermeyer. I really would have liked to take Weidermeyer in the 5th round as more of a blocker. So I don't know. Now we'll see with Brandon Smith if he can go off the board here at the Giants pick at 114. This video is only 5 minutes, so we're actually getting through these picks pretty quickly. Hopefully it doesn't go too long and they can announce this Commanders pick and we can see who the Giants take at 114. Let's see. The Commanders pick is in. It's been in forever. It's been in since literally like a minute in this video. The Commanders pick has been in and they haven't read it. They took Brian Robinson at running back. Their last pick, that's to me was a good pick for them. Washington always seems to have like those second level running backs and they have them in droves. So Washington has selected, who did they take? They took Percy Butler, safety out of Louisiana. So I don't think the Giants would have gone in that direction. So the Giants are on the clock. We're doing this again with the Giants on the clock. Only one pick in between the Giants' 2 picks. They're still flashing Percy Butler, his name across the screen, instead of showing who the Giants are taking. So far, just looking at the Ravens, man, like they have hit every single pick out of the park, in my opinion. Every single pick. Everybody they've taken up to this point was a first-round talent. And then they take excuse me. Then they take Daniel Falale. And that dude is, I mean, if he can come to fruition, that dude is a monster. All right, let's see. I see some people in the chat saying, who is this with the Giant selection? Take a drink of water. Dane Belton, safety out of Iowa. All right, I definitely don't know who that is. Definitely don't know who that is. I definitely would have wanted to see Brandon Smith here. Dane Belton, I definitely don't know who that is. He's first team All Big Ten. But I don't know who that is. This is the second player. The first was Azudu. But Dane Belton, I definitely don't know who that is. But he's first team All Big Ten for 2021, so that's got to count for something. I don't know. Is he a free? Is he a strong? I don't know. Oh, man. Dane Belton. All right, well, I was expecting something a lot more exciting, but it looks like we're just going to have to wait and see with those 2 players to see if they come to fruition. But I would have loved to see Brandon Smith, maybe Isaiah Likely. But you guys let me know what you think of the Giants taking, I forgot his name now, Dane Belton, I think his name was, and Daniel Bellinger. Let me know down in the comments. Yeah, I don't know who Dane Belton is, guys. I have no idea. Definitely don't know who that is. Dane Belton. Now let's see what NFL.com. Again, these things are loose judges of how good somebody is. NFL.com scouting report, but it should give me a general idea of who he is as a player. If he's a free safety, if he's a strong safety. So they have him listed. They have him listed at 6'1", 205. So it looks like he's a free safety. 36 inch vertical jump, 4.43. So it looks like he's athletic. Projected to go in the round 6. Yeah. Yeah, he was projected to go in round 6. Now, I don't know if again, NFL Network can say a lot of crazy things, but they say he's good at covering tight ends, good at redirecting routes and zones. They say he's good in zone coverage. A lot of strengths. It's weird to say that he's a 6th-round pick, but he has all these strengths. Basically, it just says he's really, really good in coverage. But they say he needs help with his instincts, loses track of deepest target responsibility. You hate to see that. Lacks athleticism and speed for expansive coverage. Sounds weird because he ran a 4.43, below average suddenness underneath. Takes flat angles on the route, has no idea where the football is at time, needs to learn to attack and play off the block. I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and just say it on a limb. I don't know who that is, and I probably wouldn't have taken that player right there. Same thing for Daniel Bellinger. I knew who he was, but I'm not sure if I would have taken him over Isaiah Likely, over even Widermite. I just didn't think he was the best tight end there. That's just my take on that. I didn't think he was the best tight end there at all. I would have rather taken the punter, being honest with you, than taking Dane Belton. He just looks like a guy we just threw a dart at the board. I don't know what they're doing. Like every single pick after the 1st-round pick has been controversial. So I don't know if it's our scouts, if it is John Mara, but the Giants continue to make the most controversial picks every single year after the 1st round, even in the 1st round. They usually are making the most controversial picks. Yeah, it seems like he can't tackle. I'm not sure. I feel like Brandon Smith there on the board was a no-brainer. But what do I know? I know he's not going to make it around again. I know that's not going to happen. I would have taken Neil Farrell Jr. I would have taken Isaiah Likely. I would have taken Matt Ariza over Dane Belton. Dane Belton just doesn't even sound like he's going to be a good player. Have a good one, Diablo. I don't understand that, man. I don't understand that pick at all. Not at all. Dane Belton. At least he was 1st team All Big Ten, but it's just like I just wasn't expecting that one. When I type in his name, are you kidding me? When I type this dude's name, man, are you telling me he doesn't even come up on Google, or am I spelling his name wrong? Because that's crazy if he doesn't even come. Okay, Dane Belton. Not Bolton, Dane Belton. All right, so Last time we took an Iowa safety, I mean, it didn't work out that well. And I think he sadly passed away a couple of years ago. Tyler Sash. I like Tyler Sash a lot, but didn't work out that well. But Dane Belton, um, let's see. Let's see what he looks like. I'll watch a little bit of his tape. Makes a tackle right there. Looks like a physical player to me. I don't understand the whole part about him not being a in the box guy. He looks like a physical player to me. I was satisfied with the first round. I don't think you've been here the full string. I was satisfied with the draft the first round. I'm just not sure if I like the Dane Belton pick, but I'm not going to crucify anything and say that anything's going to be bad until I actually get to look at their tape. But I don't like the pick initially. All right. It looks like he hits. I don't understand why that scouting report said that he wasn't a physical player. When I'm looking at this dude play, it looks like his strength is being physical and tackling. He has a ton of tackles for loss. I could see why Wink would like this guy as a player because they send him on a ton of blitzes. He makes a ton of open field tackles. And listen, it's not as much like my head thinking that the Giants made a horrible pick. It's just a repeat of every single year. Every single year, we just end up in a situation where we take a player that nobody is thinking that we take and that everybody thinks is going to be a lower pick. And Giants fans every year convince themselves, including me, we always convince ourselves that we just got the steal of the draft. We got this player that nobody else wanted to take, and we're going to make him a star, and he's just going to end up proving everybody wrong. But they usually don't. Like, it usually doesn't happen. Every time we make one of those picks, I can't say it's worked. I can't say it's worked one time when we've just gone against the grain, made a pick that everybody thought was a reach, and we actually proved them wrong. That's what I'm saying. I just don't know what to expect from Daniel Jones this year, but he has the team. He definitely has a team. I mean, he definitely has a team. Yeah, you had to take him in the 6th. Yeah, they projected him as a 6th-round pick. I guess. Listen, I'm not going to say that they're not taking best player available because he probably was the number one player on their board. But he wasn't the best player on most teams. I mean, on most draft people's boards, but not that matters that much. So the Jets are back on the clock. They just took Michael Clemens. All I'm just hoping is that Brandon Smith falls another round. I'm hoping that we can get one of these linebackers. I know we'll eventually get one. It's just like I wish we could have gotten one earlier, especially a guy like Leo Chenal. Malcolm Rodriguez is a guy that NFL Network ranks high. I don't know anything about this dude, but we'll find out. We'll find out if Dane Belton is a good player. We'll find out if Azudu is a good player. We'll find out when the lights go on. And Bellinger isn't a horrible pick. I just like the other tight ends better. Yeah, it looks like he fits Wink's scheme. They send him on a bunch of blitzes and he makes a bunch of tackles for loss and open field tackles. So it looks like he's a guy that fits the scheme. Um, Definitely looks like it. All right. Yeah, I would have probably rather taken Isaiah Likely. I thought there would be an outside shot that we would take a safety though here. I mean, with that pick, I just didn't know of many safeties on the board that I thought were valuable at that spot. But I guess their safety one at that point was Dane Belton. I don't know why they continue to keep going back to Charles Cross's tape like every 30 seconds on this broadcast. Okay, another site has him ranked as a yeah. I definitely like Smoke Monday. I would have probably looked in his direction, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. There's like I said, it just happens all the time as a Giants fan where it seems like these players are getting overdrafted, and then there's half of the franchise fans that they're going to just love every single pick. There's part of the fan base that they're going to cautiously be optimistic for every single pick. I think I kind of fall in that category, and then the other half of the fan base is just going to hate every single pick if it doesn't match up with what they wanted. So we'll find out exactly. We'll find out exactly what they're made of when we get there. But in the past, when the Giants have made these questionable picks, where it's like you're taking this dude there, they usually haven't. They usually haven't panned out. Yeah, people are usually on one side or the other. So let's see. If I look up the Giants, just pick a draft 20. I'll do the 2019 draft because that part is over. So Giants 2019 draft. That was a draft with Daniel Jones in it. O'Shane Zimenez was a guy we drafted where everybody was thinking that's way too high. And O'Shane Zimenez hasn't done anything since he's been here. George Asafo Ajayi was a guy that people were thinking, why are you drafting this dude? He's going undrafted. He hasn't panned out. Let's go to 2018. I don't even know where George Osafo Ajayi even is at this point. Uh, let's see if there was a reach that year or perceived reach. I'm looking for guys who people thought weren't supposed to go where they were that have succeeded. Um, let's look at the 2020 draft. Chris Williamson was a guy we drafted where people were like, that dude's not going to get drafted. And guess what? He's out of the league right now. Cam Brown, he's a special teamer, but we took him in the 6th round. Who cares? Matt Parrott was a guy that people didn't like. He's not doing anything right now. Let's look at the 2015 draft. Odigizua, same old, same. Well, Odigizua was kind of projected to go higher, but Michael Thompson was a guy that we kind of overdrafted. But yeah, our next pick is basically in the 5th round. Yeah, we could have gotten the linebacker a long time ago. But I don't think apparently the Giants. Listen, if Blake Martinez is going to be the only linebacker on the field, and they're going to use what's his name? If they're going to use Aaron Robinson as like your nickel backer, then I mean it doesn't matter. If it's just going to be Blake Martinez and Aaron Robinson, it doesn't matter that much. So maybe we perceive a need where there's no need, but I still think you need some depth there because we only have like 2 or 3 linebackers on the field. I think how many linebackers do we have on the roster? Yeah, you're definitely not going to keep 11 guys. I don't see how that's going to happen. So let's look at the Giants roster right now. I know we have Carter Coughlin. I know we got Tate Crowder. TJ Brunson is technically on the roster. Cam Brown is there, but he's a special teamer. Omari Cobb, I don't know who that is. Justin Hilliard, Quincy Roche, Alex Smith. So as far as linebackers who aren't edges, our linebackers are Blake Martinez, Tate Crowder, Justin Hilliard, Carter Coughlin, Omari Cobb, and TJ Brunson and Cam Brown. So out of those guys, the only people that you feel comfortable playing at all are probably Blake Martinez and Tate Crowder, but everybody felt that they needed to keep Tate Crowder. They needed to upgrade over Tate Crowder. But apparently they don't feel that way, and maybe they're going to be using Aaron Robinson a lot as that nickel backer. If they are, it's not that big of a deal. Max, you caught me in the wrong year. This year I did like the least work. I've been so busy. Just like you, I heard I think I saw on Twitter that Max, you moved recently. I just moved recently too. So congrats on your move. But yeah, this is pretty much my worst year for a draft. I don't even know anything about Belton. Bellinger is a guy that's like an all-around kind of tight end, not really that flashy. So I mean, I guess he can be a nice security blanket, but I would have wanted to go more flashy and then go with that 2-way, blocking tight end in the 5th round. But that's just what I thought. And then Brandon Smith on cue goes to the Panthers. Brandon Smith goes to the Panthers right there. So there's Brandon Smith. Yeah, Max, I moved to Atlanta. I moved to Georgia. But yeah, I mean, Brandon Smith was right there. I'm going to tell you right now, from what I've seen from Brandon Smith, there's no way that they shouldn't have taken him instead of taking Dane Belton. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And it's not like this makes the – it's just like, yeah, I can make excuses and I can talk about – I haven't seen the tape for some of these guys, so I can't crucify it. But it just seems like after the first 2 picks, and then I'll give you a nod on Wan'Dale Robinson. After those picks, every single pick has been controversial, and including the Wan'Dale Robinson picks. I won't give you the nod because every single one of those picks has been controversial. And when you make every single one of your picks, besides the first 2 that are in the top 10 controversial, it just becomes difficult to say that all of these guys are good picks and all of these guys were properly evaluated if you have different evaluations than pretty much everybody else. That's just what I'm saying. I live in Buffalo, originally from Brooklyn. From the Bronx. Oh my God, I committed a cardinal sin. I have no faith in Dable and the new GM. They must prove who they are. Dable is a bad play caller. I have heard from some Bills guys and some Giants fans who live in Buffalo that Dable isn't a good play caller. Well, Dable's not going to be calling the plays, I'm pretty sure. It'll probably be Mike Kafka. We should trade Shepard. To be honest, I've been saying that since Odell left. He's not that guy. Shepard is not going to be that guy regardless, but I think there's something in his contract to where if we trade him, we probably lose salary cap. The move was actually just not even work related. It was just I just decided to move. Yep. Yeah, it's a lot harder to do things in around DC than it is pretty much most other places. I feel like everybody comparing their grades and picks to the media. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I usually don't try to lean into what the media thinks as far as players because a lot of times the media is ridiculous. Like how they love Gregory Rousseau and they love Trayvon Walker. I usually don't try to correlate those things, but it's a difference when I have like, when the media has like a 6-round grade on someone and you're taking them in the fourth, you're taking them in the third. It's just they usually align somewhat. But we're creeping up on 1. I did say I would stay on here for an hour, and we're creeping up on that hour. I will be dropping videos again on all the rest of these guys that we pick. They might not be right after, but I will drop videos, and I'll start to get some of these questions out of the way before I sign off at 1. But yeah, I believe they should have taken Likely. I do think that they still need to take another tight end because, I mean, you need bodies at this point. So why not take another young tight end in a deep tight end class, especially if Likely's on the board at that point, or if Weidermeyer's on the board, who's a two-way tight end. If one of those guys are there, why not take him? Sam Howell still on the board. I don't think they're taking Sam Howell no matter how far he falls. I just don't see it happening. All right, any more people in the chat? Again, I'll definitely be dropping videos on all the rest of these picks. And I think either it'll be on my channel or the Hub's channel. We'll probably talk about the picks tomorrow and the entirety of the draft to kind of reflect on what we got, if we got better as a team. Spoiler alert, we definitely got better as a team. With that first round, everything after that is just icing, to be honest. It's like you can literally close your eyes, throw darts, which it seems like that's what they're doing. After you get those first 2 players, you had a good draft. There's nothing you can do to ruin the draft. I 100% agree. We could have had Likely and Smith, and then we could have waited for this 5th round to come around, and we could have got Ariza. And at that point, to me, that's a full draft. Like, there's nothing else that you need to do. All right. It looks like we're winding down in the comments, in the chat. Any more last words before I sign off? What do we think we're going to do with Brightwell? Yeah, I agree. We could have gotten smoked, definitely. Brightwell, it depends if we draft a running back. If we draft a running back, it'll be Saquon, it'll be Matt Breida, it'll be the running back that we drafted, and then Gary Brightwell. So there's a chance. Maybe Sandro Platzgummer gets a chance to try to make the roster. There's a chance. I mean, it depends what we do in this draft, though. Because if we decide not to draft a running back, we might not. Brightwell might make the team again. Listen, like I said, some people like every single pick. Some people hate every single pick that they initially don't agree with. I just think some people are in the middle. I personally, I don't necessarily like those picks that he's made after Izudu. I don't really. I mean, well, no, okay. I didn't really understand the Wandale Robinson pick. I didn't really understand the Izudu pick because I didn't know who he was. But after I looked at who he was, wasn't that bad. And then this tight end pick we just made right here, I'm not that fan. I'm not that big of a fan of it. I would have liked one of the other tight ends, and I really feel like we should have gotten away with Brandon Smith because I'm not convinced that this guy at safety from Iowa is going to be a good player. But we're at 1. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the stream up. I will see you guys soon, either in a stream on my channel or the Hub channel tomorrow. I'm also scheduled to probably be on Big Blue and the Bronx's channel on Monday. So you guys will definitely hear my opinions on the Giants picks coming up. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Don't watch the rest of this draft on TV. Go out and have fun and just check your phone because it's going to be like watching paint dry. All right, you guys have a good one.